this is Caitlin here, and welcome back to our spoilers for Winds of the Ominous Moon. Today we are covering the spoilers from last week, which was from Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So we've got a whole bunch of cards here. We've got about 12 cards in total, I think, to go through. So we might as well just fire off here and get started straight away, because we don't want to be messing around too much. We want to get in and discuss these spoilers now. The first one here is actually kind of interesting. It's Unyielding Dragonlord Ragnarok. So this artwork obviously has been used as a promo for posters and whatnot for the set. And I guess I was wrong, obviously, in my initial thought that Ragnarok would end up being a ruler. I'm just kind of a little bit disappointed that he's just simply a dragon. Because he is a super vulnerable dragon, considering that we have the 1-cost fire spell that basically kills the dragon. So I don't think that he'll be seeing much play anyway. But he is a 6-cost resonator. He's 3 water and 3 void, a 15/15. He is flying. When this card enters the field, if it was played from your hand, reveal cards from the top of your deck until you choose to stop, or until you reveal 2 cards that share a name. Then put all revealed cards into your hand. So this is stupid. It's incredibly stupid. And then you discard 7 cards. Destroy target non-magic stone entity. I'm really not too sure what deck this is actually made for. My heart would say that it would be, well, at first I would say it would be for Ayu, but then in an Ayu deck, no cards are going to share a name. So basically, you'd end up with your entire deck in your hand, but then you would deck out. So I'm not too sure what this card is meant to be for. I'm not too sure if it's like, is it meant to be for Kaguya? Is it meant to be for, it's definitely not meant to be for Ayu. Is it meant to be for Shayla? I have no idea what this Ragnarok is meant for, but it's a very interesting one. It's also an SR, so I imagine that the full art will be very gorgeous looking. From another dimension, the ruler appeared. Next up, we have another elemental, Blue Leaf. It is a 1-drop water one. It is 100/100. Banish this card, return target resonator with total cost 2 or less to its owner's hand, or you can inheritance it for 1 void. Return target resonator with total cost 1 or less to its owner's hand. So a pretty normal, kind of basic kind of elemental here. Again, I'm not quite sure how I feel about different coloured elementals. I don't know whether it's worth like making your elemental deck different colours, just for these guys or whatever, but I'm not too sure. Blue for Tranquility. Really not much else to say here, because I really don't think too much about elementals in regards to them, so I'm not going to give it too much time. We have Aurora of the Soul, a 1-cost water chant. Put up to 2 target soul resonators from your graveyard into your hand. So this one is obviously for Ayu. The more you desire something, the farther away it gets. And I think this is a reference to, I think it was mentioned somewhere, I can't remember where, Ragnarok is running away from something, and that's why it's turned up in basically the not hashtag, or quote-unquote re-earth. It's shown up here. Apparently something was chasing it here, so I feel like maybe we're going to get some indication as to maybe where Ragnarok came from and who was after it, because apparently it was trying to escape from something. When it came to Re-Earth, it was injured, it was escaping from something, but we don't know what it was. But I think this is quite interesting. It's also a rare. Kind of weird how this is just like a normal speed, so it's not quick cast, but I can understand maybe why it wouldn't be quick cast. I guess Ayu doesn't really need it for quick cast. But yeah, you can recycle like some of your souls if you want, if you really need to. And then next up for our water ones, we have a very interesting one here. We have the End of Possession. It's a 3-cost quick cast. It's 1 water and 2 void. Target J/Resonator loses all abilities and becomes a 0/100 until end of turn. If it's Ayu, Shaman Swordswoman, it retains all abilities and becomes a 2000/2000 instead. So at first, when I read this card, I was thinking, oh, great, this is a way to combat Ayu, until I got to the second half of the text, and I was like, oh, no, wait, it's meant for an Ayu player to use in their deck to beef up their already big Ayu. So, this one is definitely meant for Ayu specifically, although I suppose if you know you're not going out, or maybe you could even just have it in the sideboard if, like, for instance, don't side into it when your opponent is playing Ayu. This would be a very bad choice. But definitely to try and, like, deal with other J-Rulers, I guess, yeah, this is an alright way to deal with it, even though it is a little bit costly. At the bottom here it says, as the light of the moon fades away, the time for this sham of a possession fades as well. And I believe this is supposed to be Ayu here, but for some reason, it looks as if she's got Ragnarok's wings, and she no longer has, like, her were-rabbit attire and whatnot, which is very, very bizarre. I'm not too sure what to think of it here. It makes it seem like, you know, maybe she's no longer possessed by the happy rabbit spirit or whatever, the happy rabbit soul, and now she's taking on something else, because she's got this weird, like, massive flower in her hair. Her outfit is different. She seems to be using some kind of, like, water kind of bubble power thing or whatever. I'm not too sure what's going on here. She's got these weird markings on her face. She looks very evil, and obviously she's got what looks to be Ragnarok's wings, so I'm not too sure who's possessing her at the moment, whether this is what the real Ayu is like or something else. I'm not too sure, but I'm very interested to see what is actually going on here with Ayu. Moving on to the darkness spoilers, we have another elemental, a black leaf, 1 cost darkness, 100/100. You banish this card, target J/Resonator gains -4/4 until end of turn, or you inheritance it for 1 void, target J/Resonator gains -2/2 until end of turn. Again, really not much else to say on these elementals here. I'm probably going to be skimming through most of them because I really have nothing else to really say about it. But I will say the artwork for this is very, very strange. It's a very odd choice of design for this elemental. It's like a black splodge with like a mask on and everything like that. Black for sabotage, I suppose. Then we come to this one, Dark Bukuro, or Bukuro, I'm not quite sure how to pronounce it. It's 1 darkness, 1 void. It's got 1000 defense but no attack. So this is a pretty cheap fairy tale with a lot of defense, so I can definitely see it maybe getting splashed into fairy tale decks, so it seems really interesting. Your opponent pays 1 void more to play chance during your turn, so that way you can get around, well, mainly this would apply to quick cast chance in particular. So this would be actually quite handy, I think. A small interloper that snatches your opponent's field of view. I don't know what fairy tale this little creature is from. I don't know if it is a legit fairy tale because it seems like it's meant to be. But it is kind of cute. I like it. I'm not quite sure what this thing sleeping on its hat is, but I quite like it. It seems to be like a kind of cute little fairy tale guy. So he seems to be really interesting. Next up, we have another fairy tale. We have Kintaro, who is a 2 cost. It's 1 darkness, 1 void, 6/6 with precision. When this card enters the field, put a 100/100 counter on it for each fairy tale and non-fairy tale beast you control. I don't know whether this is actually a typo, because I believe what it's meant to say is because it says non-fairy tale beast. So does this mean that it needs to be a beast that is not also a fairy tale? It's a bit really weirdly worded here. So I'm thinking what it means to say is you can put it for each fairy tale you control, and then after that for each beast you control that is also not a fairy tale. It's a very weirdly worded ability here, but it seems to be alright. This power is to protect my friends. So yeah, definitely play this in a fairy tale deck if you're swarming early game, and then you can beef this one up pretty quickly. Especially because he, I think it's a guy actually. It looks like a guy because the chest looks pretty flat, I think, so I think it's a guy. This power is to protect my friends, so this one looks really nice for a bit of darkness in your fairy tale deck. And then next one we have Kintaro's partner, who seems to be a bear, with some heavy tattoos and whatnot. He's a 1 cost, he's 400, 300. He is a fairy tale / beast, so I'm guessing it's referring to this guy in particular. He also kind of looks like his armor at the bottom, like I think it's meant to be kind of like samurai or shogun kind of armor, although it did really briefly remind me of a kilt there for some reason. And when this card enters the field, target J/Resonator gains -2/2 until end of turn. Again, not an amazing ability, it seems alright. I guess it's okay for draft potentially, but I don't think I would ever play this in my deck. Even one as kind as he will become ferocious if his friends are hurt. So I don't know if they all come from the same fairy tale, but it seems to be, or like the same like folklore tale or whatever. But he seems to be a really interesting one. I like that, but at the same time, it's like I probably wouldn't play him in my deck. And then moving on finally to the green one, so get ready for an abundance of more elementals that I'm not particularly fussed over. This is Leaf Paladin, a 3 cost. It's 2 wind and 1 void, a 5 and 500. Bit on the weak side for a 3 cost. When this card enters the field, search your deck for a light elemental, fire elemental, water elemental, and or darkness elemental, reveal them and put it into your hand, then shuffle your deck. So basically, it's searching out some of your other coloured elementals if you really want to get them into your hand. Using the magic power of the Demon Lord as a reference, Gil produced 5 attributes of elementals and made a powerful team. So basically this is him talking about probably he was inspired by the crests that were causing him so much trouble when they were fighting the Demon Lord. And Gil's like, hey, I'm gonna like create all these new elementals using all these different elements and whatnot. Hence why they're called elementals, duh. So now you just don't have wind ones, you've got them for all the colours. It seems to be kind of cute, I like it. I like its like little leafy cape and whatnot, it seems pretty cute. But again, I probably wouldn't use it and whatnot because I'm not really building elementals at the moment. Next up we have Fifth Element. I wonder if that's a reference to something. It is a 1 cost quick cast, it is 1 wind. Reveal any number of elementals from your hand. This card deals 300 damage to target J/Resonator for each card revealed this way. So that's actually kind of cool. It only deals it to one J/Resonator. It would have been cool if it would have given you the choice to deal it to, say, your opponent. But then again, that would be pretty, like, kind of overpowered, I would think, to just be able to deal that much damage to your opponent. So I can see why it's just to a J/Resonator. At the same time, it's still a pretty strong ability, especially if you have all 5 in your hand. The hordes of elementals swept away their enemies like a stampede, leaving nothing behind. The artwork is actually kind of cool, although now that I'm looking at it now, the darkness elemental kind of looks a bit like a eggplant or an aubergine. So I now can't unsee that, so that's very, very bizarre. Next up, we have Leaf Dragon, which is an elemental slash dragon. It's a very weird looking design. It's like got this weird kind of like, I don't know if it's a berry or some kind of orb or gemstone like for its belly, and it's like surrounded by leaves and whatnot. It is very bizarre. And it's got this really weird tongue. I have no idea what's going on with it here, but it's a 4-cost Resonator. It is 2 wind and 2 void, a 900 elemental slash dragon. It's got flying. I don't know how it's flying with those weak leaves as its wings, but I digress. Remove an elemental in your graveyard from the game. Put a 100/100 counter on this card. Play this ability only once per turn. So I guess this is a way to make sure that you can, if you're not cycling or recycling your elementals in your graveyard, you can just remove them and you can beef up this dragon. Again, it is a dragon, so it will die very quickly to that 1-cost fire chant that kills dragons. But other than that, I guess it's alright. I'm just trying to think of whether it'd be worthwhile playing an elemental deck, because you've already got so many choice of elementals already. I'm not too sure. I guess if you wanted a kind of big beefy Resonator, this would be the one to pick, because you can make him stronger and whatnot, but I'm not too sure here. Names reflect one's spirit reflects their capability. I'm not sure what this is in reference to, or whether they just wanted something kind of philosophical and whatnot, but I guess it's okay. I mean, this dragon is very scary, so I'm going to move on because it kind of freaks me out a little bit. And then finally, for this set of spoilers, we have Spirit Searching, which is a very nice looking artwork. It's just an uncommon, but I quite like the kind of insignias that Gil is doing over here. It's a 2-cost, it's 1 wind and 1 void, spirit magic of course. Search your deck for a chant, reveal it, and put it into your hand, then shuffle your deck. So it's just a bit of tutoring for basically any chant. It doesn't need to be specifically spirit magic, it can be anything. So it's not got that problem that Rhea's one had where it was just search out for a mystery. This one is literally any chance, so any kind of situational thing. You can just be like, on my turn, I'm just going to search this out just so I've got it. You know, search out your what would you search out for green? Your Severing Winds probably, your Fairer spell, any of that. If you were playing Darkness, Thought Control probably. The future is something we have to shape ourselves. Gil, I wonder if this is at the point where he's faced his other self, or what battle is he preparing for? I'm not too sure. But anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed these spoilers here. I'm playing catch up once again because I had a busy weekend, so I didn't manage to get this video out at the weekend and whatnot, but I hope you're looking forward to Wednesday when we have spoilers from Monday and Tuesday, and I'll also have our video for Card Game Wednesday as well. I hope you enjoyed it guys, and let me know what you thought of these spoilers, and until next time, I will see you all later. This video was made possible thanks to patrons such as Houston Moore, Alucard, and Craig McCutcheon.